Okay, so this episode is a week late, but that's because we were dealing with some technical issues. You'll notice in this episode that Trav's video is pretty rough. There's some random cuts here and there. The whole thing was just a mess. Technically, we had some issues that we couldn't quite solve during the recording, but rather than have Trav reschedule and re-record, I thought I'm gonna swallow my pride. I'm gonna post this episode because he says a lot of great things about what he's currently doing and being active and keeping his active streak alive. So I think it was a really good episode. I think it's challenging and inspiring for people. And so rather than, like I said, re-record this whole thing, I'm going to put it out there. Like I said, please excuse the rough quality, but I think the audio is still pretty good and you can understand what he's saying. You can hear what he's saying and the heart behind it. So I hope you guys enjoy this episode, and please, again, forgive the quality. It's not quite up to par for what we're used to putting out there, but still a really fun episode. So enjoy. We're back with another episode of Connectable. My co-host Deb, she's not here tonight. She's off school now. She's officially on summer break, so that's one of those things where it's like we don't know when we're going to see her again. She's kind of like a stray cat, or like a cat that you have, but like an outdoor cat. They pop by every once in a while, stop by the house, and then you may not see them for like a week after that. You have no idea what they're doing. They're just out there. And eventually she'll come back. But right now, once she hits summer break, those teachers, they can't wait for a summer break. And so
I can't imagine.
actually, honestly, she's in Tahoe right now. So she's having a good time. And that doesn't matter. You know why? Because we have one of our favorites, someone who is kind enough to come on this show, co-host with me. And I'm not joking, definitely one of the favorites of this podcast. He's been on quite a few times. My friend, Travis Cole. What's going on, man?
What's up, dude? Thanks for having me, as always.
Man, you know what? Usually I like doing the intros for you because I like to talk about how I have like a man crush on you or how good looking you are, something like that. But I decided not to tonight, mainly because I think
That's
my wife's
good.
catching on. I think my wife's getting jealous, so I had to throw her off the scent. You know what I mean? Throw off the trail.
That's good. Smart. Good move. Good play.
Yeah, I can't do it every time. She's getting jealous. Like, who are you recording with? I'm gonna start making up different last names for you. Like Travis, I don't know. I forgot his last name. Don't worry about it. Just leave me alone.
Yeah.
No, she actually when she finds out that I'm recording with you, she's actually like, "Oh, okay, so it might be a while." I said, "Maybe."
No.
I don't know.
Sorry.
She knows it's my fault. She's never once blamed you.
What's the average conversation or average podcast length?
Ooh, for us with our guests, usually it's around an hour.
Okay.
It's around an hour.
But we're like 2 hours usually.
We've pushed it a couple of times. And usually when we start recording, I'm like, "Hey man, I know you're in a different time zone. I'm gonna try to be respectful of that. I'm gonna try to keep it short." And then hour and a half, 2 hours later, it's like, "Oops,
I know.
I messed up."
That's
why I didn't say it this time.
Yeah, we have a long history together. So, and then we haven't talked. We go like 3 months without chatting, and this is our time to chat. So we got a lot to catch up on. So I think that's why they're long winded.
Thank you. That's all I've been trying to tell people. I was like, "Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't realize that having a nice conversation with a guy that I love and respect is a bad thing. I'm so sorry. This offends you."
Yeah.
But no, man, I'm so glad that you were willing to come on this podcast again and co-host. And like I said, I'm not even treating you like a guest this time. You are a co-host here because you've been on the show so many times. And that's why I don't even give you an intro. Like, you're a bunch of things, a dad, husband, a crazy athlete. I don't say these things anymore because people know. They know you know.
That's good. I'm glad they know who I am. I appreciate
100%,
it.
man. Yeah, 100%. So I'm very thankful that you're on here, man. And I do want to let everybody know, it's funny. And I was actually joking with my wife before we came in here. It happened. This has happened almost every time that you and I have podcasted together because you have 3 kids. I have 2, and we record this thing at 8:00. And every time we've recorded, I get a text from you saying, "Hey man, I'm gonna need about 5 or 10 minutes because it's bedtime." I'm like, "Thank God." And I text you back, "Hey, I need this too because my kids are a little squirrely tonight." And so I'm actually glad that you do that because it gives me a little leeway in the recording time.
I get it. I know. I always tell myself I'm not going to need it. Like, I'll start early, and then one thing just leads to the next. And then like they were watching the basketball game tonight, and they're like, "Can we stay up for it?" And I was like, "Okay, we'll stay up for a little while." And then one of them falls asleep, and the other one's starting to fall asleep. I'm like, "Guys, let's go to bed!" Like 5 minutes before we're starting. So and that just pushed things back. So I always think I'm going to be fine, and then I never am. So I'm almost like, Josh, I need 5, 10 extra minutes.
And I'm just so you know, man, I'm waiting for that now. I'm like, please, I hope he says 5 minutes, and then you do it. Yes, because I needed this too.
You're welcome to tell me you need extra time whenever you need it.
Well, like you said, it is funny because we try to kind of on these podcast nights because I want to be there for bedtime, and so
Yeah.
it's like, okay, we gotta I have a guest tonight. We got to make sure that we're on top of things, and then you start at like you said, you start at a time when you think it's gonna work, and then all of a sudden they start bringing up stuff. Like my daughter tonight brought up something from like a year and a half ago. I'm like, hey, first of all, I don't appreciate you holding this over my head. Second of
Yeah.
all, not the time to bring it up. I gotta go podcast. And she's like, well, why did you do this? I said, I said, I already explained it to you. It's basically she did something where she wasn't listening to me, and then I had to. It was I'm not even gonna get the whole thing. She wasn't listening to me. We had to go because I was short on time because I had to get back to work. And then she got frustrated because I wouldn't let her do this thing again. I'm like, well, you should have listened to me the first time. And so yeah, for some reason tonight she decided to bring that up. That was like
Oh,
a year and a half ago. What are we
yeah.
doing?
It's
So there's
messed
always
up.
something.
You better
Bedtime's
be on your
wild.
best behavior with her.
I know. It's like she keeps like a little black book of all my faults.
She does.
It's like, where's the part where dad's dope and he's a cool guy? Like, where's that part?
I have to
Just
try.
give me a
It's
kiss goodnight.
sad.
Let's wrap this thing up.
Yeah, I got to try to convince my kids I'm cool too.
Oh, come on, man.
I
We've seen the shoes. We see how you
oh no,
dress. You don't
no,
have
I
to do
know.
that much convincing.
I feel like I'm cool, but I'm still dad to them. They don't think I'm that cool, so I have to like, guys, what other 40-year-olds do you see doing this or? And
That's
they
what I'm
still
saying.
they're like dead-year-old. I'm like, all right, whatever.
Are you 40 now?
I turned 40 in like a month and a half, July 17th.
All right, it's coming up.
I
You don't
know.
seem like it, man.
I my face is like I'm looking at the camera and my face is like shining, and I I've been putting face cream on because I have so many wrinkles and like my face is real bad. And I was like I probably shouldn't have put this stuff on. I took a shower right before I came on here and I put a bunch of face cream on and I'm like shining. But I have to do this now before I never did this, so I'm trying to catch up. And my wife's like, it's not gonna work. She's like, you're. It's only gonna. It's gonna stay where it is. It's not gonna make it better.
Oh man, I
So
didn't
now
need to hear that.
I'm trying to backtrack. Shoot, you got Josh. You got great skin, man. You got that. What nationality? Sorry,
Japanese.
you got Japanese. You guys got good skin.
We do, but I've
Me,
also
not so
like
much.
to your point. I've noticed this thing right here. It hit me the other day. Like, what is that line across my
Bro,
face?
I got like
It's just
five
always
up
there now.
here.
See, but I've been
Yeah.
not that we're coming up on Father's Day. So this is appropriate because I'm
Yeah.
35. I'll be 36 in August. So I started using like the face stuff too, and
Yeah.
it is funny because I have that face cream that makes my face very shiny. So I'll go out in public, and I think
Yeah.
I'm surprised one of my brothers hasn't roasted me yet because I've definitely put it on before family functions, and I'm like,
Yeah.
if anybody's gonna make fun of me, it's gonna be these two clowns. But they haven't said anything yet, so they're either like loading up and waiting when I'm vulnerable, or they haven't noticed yet. But
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
it does fool
We're
you. Like
getting
when you
up
put it
there.
on, it makes me think like I look a little younger.
Yeah. Yeah. Totally. And I've been in the sun a lot lately too, so it's just adding to it. But
Do you
whatever.
do the sunscreen thing?
I've given up. No, I don't wear sunscreen ever. Like I'll go to Hawaii. Like if I'm coming straight out of winter and like going to like a super strong sunny place like Hawaii, then I would put some sunscreen on probably for like the first day or two, and then I won't. And then I probably won't the rest of the year unless it's like the only time. Like I have pretty good skin. Like I have like Indian in me because my grandpa was like half Indian or something like that. And
There it is.
so on my mom's side, so yeah, I get like pretty tan, and I don't. I'll burn, but I turn tan like right away after. So I don't know. I don't ever put sunscreen on, and it's obviously not a good thing. So you like
Oh,
my
I'm
face.
with you. I'm with you. Yeah, no, I think my Japanese heritage. I'm only half Japanese, so it's like, what am I doing? But I
Yeah.
go out there in the on a run to the beach. In fact,
Oh
last
yeah.
year we were in Tahoe with Rachel's family, and at one point, like I didn't use any sunscreen. It's got if I start getting pretty dark, I might throw a little bit on here or there. But at one
Oh
point,
yeah.
we were just at the pool, and one of her sisters is like, so she's like, you don't use sunscreen at all? I'm like, come on, look at me, it's built in.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't need this. The rest of
That's nice.
you guys need it.
Yeah.
Like SP
Yeah.
75. It's very white on
Yeah.
that side. Sorry, Paula. I know you're listening. That's her mom. But it's true.
That's good. But our kids like I mean, they get pretty white like in the winter, but like
Yeah.
come summertime, we're outside a lot, and you don't like we'll put sunscreen on kind of like at the beginning of the summer, and then after that, like they're free reign. Like we don't ever put sunscreen on. So I it's I think it's good and bad. I don't know. I know the sun's good and healing, and but maybe too much could be bad for your skin. I don't know.
Probably.
I'm not
I mean, maybe
I'm
when
not
we're like in
specialist.
our 50s or 60s, we'll look like
Yeah.
avocados. But right
Yeah,
now,
I'm not far.
you know what I mean? It's pretty good. Yeah, no, it's no. What was that thing that Tom Brady said like years ago? Wasn't it just like, hey, if you just hydrate
Uh,
enough, you're good?
I don't know. I never heard that.
Oh,
It sounds
yeah,
good to
I feel
me.
like that was a thing for a little while. He's like, I don't use sunscreen. I just drink a lot of water. I'm like, I don't know, Tom.
That's what he
You're
said.
you're the goat, but I don't know if that works.
I'll try that next time.
It's like I drink a lot of water. I still get pretty dark, and I don't think my face doesn't scream, "Hey, this dude drinks a lot of water." This my face screams like this guy's getting old.
Did you watch the Tom Brady roast?
I
Sorry,
did. My wife and I watched it.
did you?
I've said this before on this podcast. I love stand up comedy. Um,
Yeah,
it's like it's weird. I love sport. Like sports is my number one, but then
yeah,
like right up there with my interest is stand up comedy, and it's like
nice,
sports, stand up comedy, hip hop. Those are like my three favorite things. And so yeah, I
nice.
definitely watched it, and I love roast comedy as well. And
Yeah,
it was
it's
wild. It
intense.
was wild.
Yeah, it was way wild. I've never watched many roasts. I don't know if I've ever watched a roast, to be honest. I'm not
Hell
like
yeah,
big on like I'm the opposite of you. Like I'm not big like I don't watch a lot of stand up comedy. I don't. It's rare. If I do, it's like because I'm with someone and they're watching it. Um, but I watched. I turned it on because I'm a big Tom Brady fan, and
sure,
I turned it on Netflix and I watched probably half of it, and I was just watched it late at night. I was watching it by myself, so I I,
probably best.
I don't think Mel would enjoy it to be honest, but yeah, I just felt so crunchy at times. Like they were taking so many shots at
Yeah,
him and his wife and stuff. And I feel like every time they were doing that, he was like, "No,"
yeah,
it was rough. It sounded like he had some like pretty negative feelings about it afterwards. As far as like I think he said he wouldn't do it again because of how it affected his kids, and then seeing that. So I'm surprised his kids
yeah.
watched it, but I'm sure they're old enough to hear different things. So
Oh, 100%. Well, and especially
yeah,
with social media, if they didn't see the whole
yeah,
thing, they're definitely seeing clips.
right,
And
right.
that was interesting because I heard a lot of people talk about that how he wasn't happy with it afterwards, or
Mm.
not unhappy with it, but I think he was regretful because of his kids. And I know
Yeah.
his wife was not, or his ex-wife was not happy.
Oh, I
Um,
can't imagine.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
But and that's a tough thing because I've seen a decent amount of roast, and those things are vicious. And what I was
Yeah.
telling my wife too is like the comedians they had doing the roast. Those all of those people are basically like the professional athletes of
Mm,
comedy. Like they're the best at
got
what
it.
they do, and they are psychopaths. Just like these athletes are psychopaths for what they do every single day. These
Totally.
comedians just operate in a different way, and so it was pretty
Totally.
vicious. Did I laugh?
Yeah.
100%. I enjoyed
Yeah.
myself, but it was yeah. It's always weird too. Like you always think about that. I'm like, I love that like that style of joking, like roasting. But I think a lot of people are like, well, it's like it can't be that bad when you're up there. Like you know what to expect. I'd be surprised. Like I think it's probably a lot harder to be up there and
Oh,
being the focus of
totally.
the jokes than people realize.
I feel like it would be too. I feel like how can you sign up for this? This seems like it would be dreadful. Like just like looking at my watch ready for it to end.
Right.
Oh,
Well, and you know what? I mean, I think he made a lot of money. It wasn't like 25 million.
oh,
So
did he? See, But like, is he really like hurting for money right now to take a deal like that to just kill your? I don't know.
just just how you get torn apart.
Exactly. Is it worth it? Not if you don't need it.
Hey, you know what? Hey,
Uh,
Netflix. I'm telling you right now, if you want to roast me for 25 million, I'd be happy to do it. And I got people that would be happy to roast me. So
yeah.
honestly, I'd get roasted for 2,500. So let me know, Netflix. If you're looking for a very low level podcaster to roast, I'm your guy.
That's good. I
Yeah, but
I
no, it
don't
was
know if I yeah. I don't think I
oh,
got
sorry,
the
go ahead.
guts to do it. I was just saying I don't think I got the guts to do that.
No, no, I think it would be well. It was at the Forum too, so it's like that place is
Hmm.
huge. There's so many people there, and it was live. Yeah, the whole thing was wild.
Yeah.
So it was
Yeah.
very successful though. It did really
Hmm.
well.
Seemed
But
like it did.
yeah, for Tom though, it may have had some ramifications that were not super pleasant.
No kidding. No kidding.
So, but yeah, no, it was interesting. But anyways, before I feel like we're just gonna continue to go on these sidetracks. I did have something
I
I wanted
know.
to talk to you about tonight. Um,
Sorry.
no, no, it's okay. It was my own fault. It's my own fault, as it usually is in
You
this
can just
podcast.
skip all this if you want.
No, you can't. We're gonna leave this in. People are gonna enjoy this more, I think. But um, I did want to ask you about this. Well, first of all, uh, I love what you're doing, man, with the active streak. And
Oh yeah.
if anybody doesn't follow Trav on social media, he's doing all this fitness stuff and basically staying active for an hour every single day, right? And explain to me a little bit about that because we're gonna get to the hardest mile, which you know
Yeah.
I, I
That's
just stopped
good.
being sore, and
That
it was
wild.
very
That
unpleasant.
kicked my butt. Yeah. All right, we'll get to that. So
Yeah, we'll get to
I
that.
just started. I think I'm on. Today was day 18. I didn't post anything. I will when I get off this. It might be midnight by the time I post it, but yeah, I'm 18 days in a row. I've been very active for basically since January. I went through like I don't know, maybe a couple of weeks where I was dealing with like an injury on my knee. Anyway, so yeah, I had a bad strain in my calf, so I stopped working out, and then I would work out like really good for 4 days. Then I'd take off a couple of days because I got busy and I didn't make it a priority, and then and then all of a sudden like I don't know February, maybe March, I was just like super dedicated, and then I decided I wanted to start lifting weights because I haven't lifted weights in a super long time. I've done endurance sports, so I've done a lot of biking and running. Did some triathlon stuff the last couple of years, and so now I'm like kind of out of that phase. I love running still, like I'll always run, but I was like I want to try to do some uh, lifting weights and whatnot. And I've been actually like since I've been here and like through wintertime, I put on like 10 pounds that like wasn't healthy 10 pounds. It was like fat. So that was like part of my motivation to like, I need to like buckle down and just like be super strict. And so, and I was doing really good with my fitness. I would like bust out 10 miles and then find myself like pretty good throughout the morning lunch, and then at dinner I'd just be like starving and I'd just stuff myself and eat way too much, and so I really wasn't losing any weight for a very long time. And then I started lifting weights, and I feel like that's helped like gain muscle, and I've been still really strict on like I've been pretty strict on my diet, like trying to hit all that, the full aspect of everything to try to gain muscle, lose weight, be able to run far, all those things. So, uh, anyways, but about 2 months ago, I started lifting weights, and then we were on a trip, and I just had the idea of like I should do this like active streak thing, like mainly to help myself to like well, okay, first of all, I know there's like plenty of other dads out there that struggle with this. I
Sure.
know because I see it. I know because I have friends that deal with it. We were at we went to like an indoor water park in the wintertime, and I was sitting there, and I was one of these guys. Like I was not fit. This was during the winter. This is when I was really out of shape, and I'm sitting there looking around, and there's maybe like it seemed like it was more than maybe usual, but like every dad in the place is just overweight, doesn't look fit, doesn't look healthy. And I don't know, I was like, man, I don't want to be that. Like, I want my kids to look at me and think I'm like strong and athletic and fit and not like just some overweight dad. Like, I really didn't want that because I was looking around and seeing it and it was like, I don't want to be part of that group. So that was like one motivating factor. And around this time, shortly after, my older boy, Brooklyn, he's talking to me and he's like, I don't know how we got into it, but he's like, oh, I was talking about how like I'm getting fit, and he's like, uh, he made a comment. He referenced that I wasn't jacked, that I wasn't like strong,
Ooh.
and I was like, you're right, bro. I'm not. He's like, you could run, but you're not strong. Like you're not buff. And I was like, you're not wrong. I was like, but I'm gonna prove you wrong. I'm gonna get jacked, and I'm gonna prove you wrong. That's what I told him. And so ever since then, that was when I was like, I'm on this like journey to try to lift weights. That's kind of what started the journey to lift weights like 2 months ago. So I started lifting weights. I've been running literally, I think I run just about every day. I try to. There might be, a day here or there. Like if you look at my Strava, I think I run nearly every day. I might have missed like 1 or 2 days in the last month. So
Wow.
it's not like that 8 to 10 miles every day, but I'm averaging probably anywhere from 40 to 50 miles a week. So just trying to like still hit it, whether it's like, maybe I'll run 3 to 4 miles one day. And then that afternoon, I'll hit like a morning weight or like a weight session or I'll, and another thing was like, it doesn't have to be, I think sometimes we get this like mindset that we have to be like hitting weights or running or biking. Like we put these like I don't know, we put it in categories that we have to do that in order for it to be an active thing. But I'm like, being a dad, you don't always get that time if you're not one making a priority for it, which that's what I'm realizing that like you got to make the time for it. If it's important to you and you want to see progress, I think you have to be diligent and make the time and prioritize it. And that's one thing I've really been doing. But for some dads, maybe that's not the case, that they are in that stage of life that they can do that. So, for me, I was like, just get up and move for an hour. And like, if you're playing with your kids, go play with them. Like, go play for an hour. If you can, like, if I take my kids, I've told this dumb story on your podcast before, but like, when I go to a trampoline park, I know that I'm going to wear workout shorts and a t-shirt because I'm going to get in there and work out for an hour, 2 hours when we go. If we
I'm
have
with
like a
you.
season pass to like, yeah, we have like a season pass to our, it's not that far from us and it's like cheaper just to do a like a monthly pass. And if we go one time, it basically, we're like $20 off of paying it for the month. So we
Sure.
just pay for it. It's like $100 a month. It's good for our whole family and well, minus Mel, me and the kids. And so we go, like, I'll take my boys, love going there. So we'll go and I'll play like, there's like this full court basketball thing, like on like a squishy pad. And bro, it is like the toughest workout you'll ever do.
Hmm.
It kills you because you're just like bouncing the whole time, and it's not
Right.
like a trampoline, so it's like it's more firm, but you're running back and forth, you're bouncing, and it's just insane. Like the I've tracked my calories on it before, and if I play for an hour, I'll burn like 800 calories. Like it's
Really?
insane. Like going to the yeah, like I'm done. Like I sit down and I'm just dripping sweat. Like it's intense. So I'm
Yeah.
always like kind of embarrassed when I sit down. Like there's all these other kids in there, and I'm just like dripping sweat.
I've had that thought
But
before too because I've done the same thing, and
yeah, I'm
it
like
is
taking
weird.
it
Like
too
when you're around the
serious.
other parents, you're like,
Yeah,
like you're breathing hard, and they're just looking at you like, "What are you doing?"
yeah. Who's this guy?
Yeah.
Other parents are on their laptops doing work.
Yeah. They look at
But
when
yeah,
yeah. You've experienced this. I'm sorry. I don't mean to cut you off, but they look at you with
yeah.
so much judgment. Like, "Hey, I'm over here doing work." It's like I am too. Like, leave me alone. You know what I mean? Very
Exactly.
judgmental. I've been there before.
Totally. So, anyways, like that's like my point of like we can find that activity I feel like it's a lot easier if you're a busy parent, busy dad, busy mom. Like go to the park and go play like freeze tag, like just like do something where you're moving. Because I think a lot of times that as a parent we can get stuck just like parenting or just feeling like we have to be more responsible or get things done. And then when we go take them somewhere, it's like our chance to chill and play on our phone. But like for me, it was like, I'm going to really utilize this time because for me right now, I'm really prioritizing my health. So I'm going to be as active as I can. Tonight, I got done. We were at a family's house for like 5 hours playing in a pool. I played in the pool a lot with them. We get home and I hadn't done my workout. So I was like, I'm gonna get an hour run in. I go for an hour run. I get back, and as soon as I literally walk in the garage, and my older boy hears me at the garage open, so he runs down. He's like, "Dad, you want to play basketball?" And I was like, "Bro, I just got done running 8 miles, and I was like, just give me a second, and I will." But I was like, hey, it's another way, one, to spend a lot of quality time with my kid, and then two, I was like, I can rack up another like 300 calories burning, like if I, because I know it doesn't. It's never one game. Like we can't just play one game of basketball. He's like pretty solid at basketball, so
Yeah.
it's fun. Like, and I tell him I don't take it like I don't block his shots. I'll do everything but block his shots. I'll try to steal from him because he's a pretty good ball handler, but I don't block it because of the size difference. But
Hey man, he said you weren't
anyways,
jacked.
it's
You got to put it on him. He brought
no.
it
I
on
told him
himself.
I was like, dude, I haven't let him win a game in a long time. Like it's been a while that I've let him win. We always are really close, I was when I put him to bed tonight. He gets mad, like he gets frustrated that he's not beating me. And I was like, dude, just so you know, I'm gonna keep beating you because I only got another year, maybe 2 years of this before you start beating me. And he's like, I know, Dad. He's like, when I'm in high school, I'm gonna crush you. And I was like, yeah, you will. I was like, it won't even be high school. Like, give it like 2 years, you can just start dominating me. So
Hey,
I'm
see,
not
man,
even
that's why
that
you're,
good
you're
at
a humble
basketball,
dude. Because I
but
think most dads would be like, "You'll never beat me." It's like I'd be in a wheelchair. I'm
yeah,
still
no,
gonna beat you.
I'm not good at basketball. Uh, it's fun. So, anyways, that was a long-winded answer. There was a lot to it, I guess, but
Yeah,
yeah. So it's just kind of put me on this like the streak that I'm doing was just kind of a way for me. Like I love art too. Like I love being artistic and creative in different ways, and I feel like that outlet of Instagram and me posting something is just me putting something out there and trying to like again work a muscle that I'm not used to working. And like I hate talking, like doing like voiceovers. I've done a couple and I hate it. I'm like I sound so dumb. I don't know what I'm doing. But it's just one of those things that like I feel like it's just a good thing for me to challenge myself with and try to grow in it. And I really don't care like where it goes off to. But for me right now, it's like it's challenging me in different ways. I'm gonna keep going with it. And it's like, dude, again, last night. I've been on this actor. Last night, I would not have worked out yesterday or today probably had I not been doing this streak. Because yesterday, it's Memorial Day, and I didn't work out in the morning. I was exhausted. Like we had this like tornado watch for like a lot of last night,
sure.
and so I stayed up in the middle of the night for like from like 12:30 to like 3 a.m. And so I was just exhausted. Like I set my alarm because they were like, "You guys need to pay attention because you know it, there could be a tornado in your area." And so, anyways, ended up going back to bed at like 3 a.m. And then I slept in. I didn't get up to work out, but we went on a boat like all day, and then we got home at like I think it was 9:30 when we got home. And I started my workout at like 10:15, and it was like the last thing I wanted to do. And
Yeah,
but anyways, I got an hour workout on my treadmill, and then I literally I stopped for like 10 minutes in the middle of it because I thought I was gonna throw up. Like I was just feeling really queasy. I ate crap on the boat. I had a few beers. Like it
yeah,
just wasn't good.
yeah.
so,
No, it's like
so
set up for a
yeah,
failure. Yeah,
yeah, and I felt like crap. But anyways, I got it done, and it was like one of those things that any other day I would have never done it, but it's just keeping me accountable. And I don't know, it's just kind of a fun little thing I'm doing. I'm not too deep into it, so I think I'm at 17 or 18 days now, so not long. But I'm wait. I was like, I told Mel I was going to do it for at least a year, so we'll see.
That's pretty good, man.
At least I'm the active will stay a year. She's like, do you regret saying you're gonna post every day? I was like, I actually never said I was gonna post it every day. I just said I was gonna be active every day, and follow along for it.
There
So,
you go. You gave yourself an out. That was
so
smart.
yeah.
Because you're right.
uh,
As crazy as this sounds, the posting would be the worst part for me.
yeah, I hate it. I hate
Yeah.
it. Me too.
There's
It's a
there's
lot more.
yeah.
Yeah, it is challenging. There's a lot more like thought and creative juices that go into that, and it's just weird putting stuff out there. Like I love Instagram. Like I love following other people. I get inspired by following other people. Whether a lot of fitness stuff, I get a lot of
Sure.
inspiration for fitness and so anyways, I love following other people. But like anytime you post, like for me, anytime I post something, I'm always kind of like, do I want to post it? Maybe, maybe not. And then I usually don't. And and then so uh, lately, I feel like I have an excuse to post, and I'm just gonna post. And most people don't like it. If someone likes it, cool. If not, I don't care. Like I'm just doing it for me, really. So
Yeah.
yeah.
No, I mean um I love what you're doing. It's fun to follow. It's fun to see the like you actually, posting it, putting it out there for people because I do think it's inspiring for people. I do think people see it and it kind of gets the wheels in their mind working like, "Oh, that's pretty cool. Like I can do something similar too." And I think what I like the most about it is it feels more relatable to where
Mm-hmm.
it's done in a way in the way you talk about it, the way you show the different things that you're doing. It's not like, hey, I'm gonna go run 15 miles every day. Most people would see
Mm-hmm.
that unless they're in shape, they're gonna be like, I'm not 15 miles. Good for this guy.
Yeah,
I
I'm not
can't
doing
do
that.
that.
Yeah,
And so the fact that you're like,
yeah,
hey, it's active, playing with the kids, playing
yeah,
basketball, finding something you enjoy doing, and just moving is huge. And I
yeah.
think you know, um, like I said, man, just the relatability of it. I mean, I'm not gonna say this guy's name. There's a guy that I follow. I know you follow him as well. Seems like a really good
Mm-hmm.
dude. Um, does a lot of like dad content and does some really
Okay.
dope stuff. But there's times I see some of his stuff and like, who in the world is going to be able to do this stuff? Like, it's really
Oh
cool,
right.
but like,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm not gonna bring up his name because
It's
he seems like a nice guy.
unattainable.
But I'm just saying,
Yeah.
like, I see his stuff. I'm like, this is awesome. But like, I've seen some of the comments are like, I work 3 jobs. I can't do any of this stuff. I'm like,
Yeah.
brutal. And so again, I understand why he's creating the content that he does. And so it's not no knock against him. But like I said, the thing I love about your stuff is it does feel relatable. Like you kind of give
Mm-hmm.
you kind of give it like no excuses. Like whatever you enjoy doing, whatever you can do, get out and do it.
Yeah.
It's not like you have to be
Yeah.
this. Because I follow a lot of this, like a lot of the fitness stuff too. And I look at some of these guys and like, well, this guy is shredded. He's like a military vet.
Yeah.
He's a CrossFitter. It's like, oh, I'm none of these things.
Yeah.
I'm none of these things.
Totally.
But seeing the stuff you're doing, man, it's like it's challenging but relatable. You know what I mean? It's not like you're just like saying, hey, I
Yeah.
walk a mile every day. You're like, no, I push myself.
Yeah.
Find the thing that pushes
Yeah.
you too. And so that's why I love it, man.
Right.
I really do enjoy it. I'm glad you're doing, and I'm glad you're
Yeah.
stepping out of your comfort zone and putting it out there too for people. Because I
Yeah.
think some of the stuff that you've like reposted, reshared, it seems like it's inspired other people too.
Yeah. Maybe some. Maybe not as you know. Maybe very little, but I appreciate that, Josh. With it, it's funny because I feel like I with my running background, I feel like I have a solid running and endurance background, probably better than the average person.
I would
Um,
agree.
and so yeah, so but with that, like for me, I wish I could just post that I ran every single day because that would probably be easier. But then I have to like go back and remember like why I'm doing it and like trying to inspire just regular dads that really aren't in good fitness. And so I think even listening to you talk and kind of seeing what I originally posted, I think I need to go back to that some too and just like scale it back and probably try to do more like attainable stuff. where it's not so unattainable, I think, for the average guy. So
I don't know, man.
yeah, no. What do
Well,
you
I don't
think?
know. Like I said, and maybe it's a different perspective because I'm not the runner you are. But
Yeah,
I feel like I'm okay at running. I'm much slower. I ran today, and um,
you can put in you can put up miles though. Like you have no
yeah.
problem putting in 10 miles. Whereas like you talk to your next door neighbor, ask them the last time you ran 10 miles. Probably never.
Well, she's like an 85-year-old lady. I could smoke her in a race.
Let's go.
I probably
I'm
couldn't
glad
win
you
in a
can
fight.
smoke her.
She could probably scrap a little bit, but if she wants to
She's
run,
feisty.
yeah, let's go. I can't remember
Well,
her
that was a
name
bad
either.
analogy.
But yeah.
Sorry.
Anyways,
The
uh,
the dad at your kids drop off. I bet you could outrun him mileage wise. Maybe not speed, but mileage. You could go longer.
Riverside FM, you're making me look bad in front of my buddy and all of our listeners. I'm not that good of an editor either. So you guys are making me do some work. I'm not gonna.
Oh man,
We're talking about
you got
fatherhood,
extra
and
work
I'm
this
not gonna
week.
see my kids for like 5 weeks after this one. Be stuck in the office editing this bad boy.
Dang.
No, it won't be that bad. So, anyways, we were
uh,
talking about the the relatability of the fitness stuff, and we kind of talked about like how I think you're just a natural runner, and you can kind
yeah,
of put in some miles, fairly easily, probably easier than some of again normal dad out there.
yeah,
And
yeah.
um, I was mentioning that I can, not to the same pace at all, but I can put some miles on as well. And then you were going to say something. I don't know if that refreshed your memory
Yeah.
at all.
No, it did. I appreciate that. You got a great memory, Josh.
Been doing this for a
Uh,
while.
no, I was when you were saying that, I was just kind of reminded like it's so easy to play that like comparison game. So like I compare myself. Like that's just something I do, and it's not a comparison out of like I'm comparing. I want that. It's not like I'm comparing out of like an envy or like a like I'm bummed I don't have that. It's more of like I want to get to that. Like I compare to. Does that make sense? There's a
Yeah.
different in the comparison where one challenges me, where one is like stealing your joy away from
Right. Right.
from where you are. And so,
Yeah.
uh, I, so anyways, for you, like I don't want you to be like, oh man, I can go put out miles, but I can't do it as fast as you. I was like, who cares? Like you do what the best that you can and work at getting better at
Sure.
it. And that's where I'm at. I can sit there and compare all day long to every guy I follow on Strava is like Strava is like a fitness app.
Yeah.
I know you probably know what it is, but maybe others don't. I follow a lot of runners on there that are like majority of them run way faster than me, and so I'm always like, dang, how do they do that? But then you go through and look at their runs the last 3 years, and they're putting in 50, 60 mile weeks every week for the last 3 years, and it's like they've you put in the time and effort to get to that level. So, and that's where I'm at. Like I'm always like, I want to be at that. That inspires me. So that's why I'm kind of working towards. And I
Sure.
love running, so that's what I'm going to do the most. And I'm going to try to run every day. And it's easy for me to get my active hours that way.
Yeah.
But for anyone out there, like find what it is that you love doing and try to put time into it and be really good at it.
Yeah. No, 100%. Well, and I'll be honest with you. Obviously, for myself, I'm completely with you, and I think
Mm.
I mainly joke about the pace and us having a different
Yeah,
pace and all that stuff. Like a
I
little
know you
self-deprecating humor is my thing on this podcast, but um, but again, like it's a little different though. Like I feel, even though I know physically I have a lot of work to do to get in better shape, to get stronger, more fit, and all that stuff, I still feel confident in the person that I am, like the man that I am, right?
do. Totally.
I imagine the same thing for yourself, and I think that's where it's, to your point, that's where it's different for some guys, right? I think
Hmm.
there is a lot that's attached to the self-worth and their fitness or lack of fitness, and that's where the
Hmm.
comparison comes in, right? Like you're looking at all these other
Totally.
people, and it's like, dang, I'm not going to be able to make it to that point, or I'll
Hmm.
never be that. And there's already this like defeated attitude which is a bummer
Yep.
that some people have it, but it makes sense. I
Yep.
think a lot of people have that in their minds. And I think there's a big difference
Totally.
between, comparison and then being inspired. Like, again, and I'm not just saying this because you're on the show, but like, I am truly inspired by the things that you're doing. I'm like, yeah, I'm pretty active. I'm active with our kids. We've talked about this a lot on this podcast before,
Yeah.
where it's like, I'm very similar. I'm the dad that's running around like a maniac, dripping
Yeah.
sweat, being judged by other
Yeah.
parents. Like, they're like, oh, gross, don't touch me. And so I get that. I'm in a similar boat as you are. And it's like, I've always said, this whole thing for me is probably going to end with like a torn MCL because I'm playing with my kids too hard at the age of like 50. I've
Yeah.
accepted that. I've avoided a lot of major injuries. That's probably how I'm going out. And I'm okay with that. But,
Yeah.
I think, to your point though, like, this is why I push back a little bit when you said, trying to scale it back a little bit so it's more relatable. So I think how you do it is relatable, because I think you've always been good about, like I said, expressing the part about find what you love to do and do that. You don't have to do
Yeah.
this or that, just find a thing. And there's a part of me, I don't know, I'm curious about your thoughts about this. I feel like, if we're talking to guys, like I said, this will come out a little bit before Father's Day, so it's fitting.
Mhm.
But I feel like guys, regardless of what it is, I feel like they need to be challenged a little bit to really
Yeah.
achieve what they're trying to achieve. Like, it's I don't know if it can just be all like, hey, it's just relatable. I think there does need to be that piece that
Yeah.
is like challenging, where like, I think I like, when I watch one of your videos, I'm like, dang, I have some work to do because I want to get to a similar
Mhm.
level, but I gotta get moving. Not
Right.
again, not because of comparison, but it's like, yeah, I feel
Yeah.
challenged. Like, when for example, you
Yeah.
did the hardest mile, and this is
Mhm.
100% a true story, what I'm about to tell you.
Yeah.
So I've had that workout saved in my phone for probably about 2 months. I saved it in Instagram. I'm like,
I love it.
maybe one day we'll see.
Yeah.
And then I see you just recently, you post it, like,
Mhm.
oh, he did it. And I didn't know anybody who had done it up until that point. And
Yeah.
so, no joke, my wife got home that day and she's like, hey, did you see Trav did that one workout that you saved a while ago? I said, yeah, I did. And she's like, you're about to do this, aren't you? I'm like, I have to now. I have to.
Yeah.
I have to. And so,
That's
but it was
awesome.
good for me. Like, I'm glad I did it. It sucked, but like, it was a good
Yeah.
thing. So, all that to say, like, I don't know how you feel about that, but like, I think there is a piece of it that you want it to be relatable. But I think like the guys that are watching, like, I think they should be. I think it should spark a little bit of fire inside of them.
Yeah. No, I'm with you on that. And I like that's where I found myself, like I said, in the middle of the winter, and and I'm 10 pounds over where I'm like used to being, and I like on my body frame, that's a good amount of weight. And like when I gain weight, it's like right in my gut. Like it's not like, and
Oh,
probably
I'm
like
with
in
you.
my face and neck. Yeah, that's like most. I
And my
would
neck
think
too. I'm like
most
I'm like
dads.
a
And
gargoyle.
yeah, same. I'm the same. Mel's like, when I first met you, your neck, like, she's like, you didn't have a neck because I don't know. I like, well, I was actually I was really strong. I shouldn't say it was like fat, but like I gained, I don't know, muscle, I don't
Are
know,
you sure she didn't watch the
fat.
Brady roast?
Yeah, right.
You and your son, her and your son, man, just coming
Yeah,
at you.
I know, man. That's why I lack self confidence in my house. Just kidding. I don't. I
Yeah, you're
don't.
good.
I let them roast me. It makes me feel better. I don't know why. Anyways, back to like being challenged. Like I sit there and I look at other dads like a Blake Kidwell or like even Blake Vandermark. That guy got shredded over like I was with him over the holidays and he was super lean and strong and it's like he's a got a full time job. He's got 4 kids and young kids, a baby. Like I
Yeah,
look at other dads that have they have plenty of excuses to be at where I was,
sure.
but I see them and it challenges me. Those are just close friends of mine. But then from afar, I follow a lot of other, fitness people online, and I do that to be inspired. I follow these people like that's what I want. That's what I want to get to, and so I think that's kind of my motivation to it, and it is challenging. So yeah, at the end of the day, I think you're right. We got to be challenged, and yeah, yeah.
Right. I mean, here's the thing that too, like I think some guys, especially if we're talking to dads right now, they may not want to hear. Because I think regardless, I feel like regardless of a guy's fitness level or anything like that, I think a lot of dads just think they're like Superman, right? And they're
Yeah,
unbreakable and nothing can take them out. But we're all human, and like you said, you're coming up on 40. I'll be there in a few years. I know that like stuff's gonna start to really become more difficult
yeah,
if I'm not on it. And I heard somebody say
mhm,
like you're either it's gonna happen one way or the other. I forgot who said it. I think it was someone on this podcast. So like one way or the other, the the you know decline in certain aspects are going to happen, but it's kind of up to you
mhm,
on how it happens. Like if you stay on it,
mhm.
it's kind of on your schedule. It's on your time. If you're willing to put the work in now, and even though yeah, it's appealing to sit on the couch and watch the game or watch Netflix or something and just and chill after work when you're super tired or a full day with the kids at some point, you sitting on the couch is not going to be a choice anymore. It's going to be
Yeah,
your life if you're not careful, right? Like you're
yeah,
not going to be able to move anymore. And so it's like, man,
mhm,
you got to make sure that you're doing what you can when you can, because
mhm.
otherwise it's going to take you by storm, and it's going to suck because there's going to be all
For
these things
sure.
like I could have done more to be healthier.
I know we were talking about like, you know, you were talking about, challenge, doing something to be challenged, and then you referenced how making the choice to work out at the end of the night, after a long day. I, I sympathize for a lot of dads out there that may not, be in the same boat as myself. Or like, for me, I love doing active things, and I know there's a lot of dads and men out there that act, active things may not be their jam. Where like maybe it's music or the arts, and whatever it is, maybe it's movies. Who knows? Whatever it is that they're into. So I sympathize for people like that that you know may have a hard time finding their avenue to getting fit. Um, so that's initially when I started this. That was kind of my thought. Like, yes, I want to inspire and like doing the cool running and weightlifting thing, but I think it feels unattainable for a lot of guys out there. And that's for me. Like I was telling people when I started lifting weights, I didn't know really where to start. That's why I hadn't lifted weights in so long. So I downloaded an app, found an app to kind of walk me through different weight lifts and whatnot. And I feel like nowadays with YouTube and like the resources we have on the internet, starting something new is much easier than it probably was in the past. Like running, if you want to learn how to run, you could go on YouTube and find plenty of like beginner steps to running your first 5K or your first 10K or
Sure.
whatever it is. Um, so that for me, that's where I was like, hey, if it's just being active with your kids, like walk with them as they go ride their bike, or go on a walk with your wife at the end of the night. Like that's something that I've really incorporated lately with Mel. We go on walks a lot, which I used to hate going on walks, but now it's kind of enjoyable for me. So our kids are at old enough stage where we can leave them at home. Gives us ourselves, some time to hang out, walk around the block for 30 minutes or whatever it is. So um, that's like one, not that that's like a real strenuous activity, but it's just movement. And that's where like I want to inspire the dads that if you hate fitness, just get up and move, like do something. And my thought is one thing always leads to the next. So like if you start doing something very small, it sometimes leads you to the next thing. And that's kind of where I hope fitness does. Like if you're moving for an hour, hopefully 6 months down the road, you're kind of like I'm feeling a lot better shape. Going on a mile run is very easy now. Like let's set new goals, kind of thing. So that's kind of where I'm at. But yeah, I always want to be cautious of like I'm not the average guy when it comes to fitness because there's a lot of other things that like other dads are great at that I'm probably really bad at, when
Sure.
it in other avenues. But fitness comes more natural to me, so I have to be cautious of that. I think a little bit. So, but that's the reason why I'm taking the route that I'm taking on Instagram because that's something I'm passionate about too. So, hopefully, I can gain other traction there for other people that might be looking for it too.
Yeah, no, and like I said, that's what I enjoy about it so much is that it provides other options for people. And you're right. There's
Mhm.
it's not it's not just a group of people out there that it's like I'm active, kind of, but or I don't want to be
Mhm.
active. Or I could be active. I just choose not to. There's a lot of people, like you said. There's a lot of people out there that just truly don't enjoy it. It doesn't line up with
Yeah.
any of their passions at all. But I do think walking is one of the best. And to kind of
Mhm.
point back to the whole point of this podcast, where it's called Connectable because of connections. And I feel like walking is one of the best ways to do that because it is slow. It's a slow pace thing. You get to enjoy the
Mhm.
environment where you're at. You could, I mean, if you want, you could put your headphones in, listen to music, listen to a podcast. You could do it by yourself.
Mhm.
You could walk with people and enjoy
Yeah.
some time and conversation where there's really no other distractions. You're not sitting in front of a TV. You're not doing anything else. You're literally just walking forward on a path or down the street.
Yeah.
And it's a great time to also connect with people. So, I mean, even walking might be challenging for some people, but it's a good place to start. I think, even if it's just a short
I
walk.
think it's a great place. Yeah. No, I agree. I think just starting somewhere, and like I said, I think one thing leads to the the next in that journey of trying to, you know, whatever it is you're trying to do. Like for me, it's Instagram right now where I'm trying to post more on there. And it's like I that's like a muscle that I hate trying to work out because I it doesn't come natural to me. It feels very awkward. I hate putting myself out there. Um, but it's like I know that the more I post, I'm like, oh, I should do that. Like I get, one thing leads to the next. Like one post kind of leads like, oh, that would be cool to add this to it next time, or being more creative on the next one. So you get inspired each day by getting a little bit better at whatever it is that you're trying to get better at. So just starting, and it's like one of those like best time to start is right now.
Absolutely, man.
Like just start, just go get out and do like you want to get fit. Start right now. Like put down the podcast or go for a walk. Go walk 30 minutes. It's like the easiest thing you could do, but you'll probably burn like 200 calories walking for 30 minutes. Like, it's crazy.
Yeah. Something I've been doing with I wanted to bring this up to you because I know you're a tennis guy. I've been playing every once in a while with my brother, and
Nice.
I don't know how people hit the ball over the net so easily. The ball I hit, I put in the net. I send it over the fence. It's a real struggle. It's a great workout, um, but it
Mm-hmm.
is tough. And actually, I don't know if he brought this up to you, but Joe Raby was on the show not too long ago, and in that moment, I found out that he played some college tennis, which I didn't know. I knew he was a track guy. I didn't know he did
Mm-hmm.
the tennis thing. And he said that you guys played every once in a while. I've got to ask, who won? Who normally won?
I I don't know. I don't remember. I don't want to say he said he couldn't remember either, so I don't want to say I don't remember.
Yeah, and he also said you would say this.
If
This was all predictable. We
he,
saw this whole thing coming.
all right, you want full transparency? I think I won, but I don't know.
Let's
I could be
go.
wrong.
Hey,
I was at it's not fair though. At the time, I was playing a lot of tennis, so he hadn't played in a long time.
see,
Makes sense. He could probably get that muscle back fast.
all right, I'll take it. We almost got that. That wasn't
Yeah.
quite. That wasn't a full like claiming a victory. You did, and then you're like, but honestly, I'm in better. Even that was nice. All right, good for you, man. Yeah,
Oh man.
it's tough.
I
You
so
still
with
playing tennis at all?
dude, I haven't played tennis in a long time. I played pickleball
Oh,
occasionally,
you jumped in the
which
pickleball
I
thing, huh?
actually think is I love it. I haven't played very much and like with people that are very good, but it's fun. I love playing. So I would love if I could like play that regularly, I would do it. Like I would play it weekly. So it's a lot of fun. Um, I still love tennis though. Like if I knew people that play tennis or if I it's just not really I don't know. It's maybe I'm into other things right now. So
Yeah.
but I do love tennis. I have like a big passion for tennis still. Um, with when I first started playing tennis, I was the same way. Sorry, excuse me. I would hit it, way too far all the time and didn't know how to hit
Yeah.
properly. So I ended up getting like a couple lessons. I went to like a tennis, you know, tennis like a racket club in Sacramento,
Ah,
and got like private lesson. I paid for 2 different lessons, and it helped me like tremendously. So just doing that, like just getting taught early on how to hit the ball properly, how to hold the racket properly, is like super beneficial. So
Makes sense.
try that if you're into it. If you're trying to get into it, try it. It would help you out, sure.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna do that. So I guess I'm stuck with my ability right now. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna suck for the rest of my life.
It depends. I didn't know how serious you want to take it,
No, I
but that
appreciate the
really
tip,
helps
man.
me.
Um, but yeah,
Yeah.
that told me everything I need to know. It's like I'm stuck with this. All right, I'm okay with that. I'll survive. I do like pickleball. I haven't played since I was in middle school, and I haven't played recently since it got
Yeah.
big. But I do want to get back out
That's
there and play
massive.
some pickleball. It's a fun game. Like I said, we did some tournaments in middle school for PE, and I remember loving it. But back
Nice.
then it was like you were using wooden paddles. It was like old school. You know, the technology has come so much
Mm,
further. So I gotta
yeah.
get out there and do that. Now let me ask you this: are you Because a big thing for my family is spike ball. Have you and your boys gotten into spike ball?
We've played it a little bit on just like different trips that we've been on. Like sometimes they'll have it out at a beach,
Okay,
and we've played it there, like at a wherever we're at. We've played it. I've played it with them some, and it's a ton of fun. I actually I need it. I want to get that for our house because it would be. I saw it somewhere. I was like, I should buy it, and it was like $100. I was like, nah, I don't need it that bad. So,
so my brother has
uh,
a couple sets. I'll
but
steal one of his. I'll send it to you.
uh,
By the time he hears this, he'll know
don't
it's
do
gone.
that. Yeah, don't do
Yeah,
it.
yeah, man.
No, I just need so I got it. That game's awesome.
It's our favorite thing at the beach. We play a lot, and it's
Nice.
yeah, that's the same thing. Like I'm covered in sweat. I dive in the beach. My arms are all sandy.
Yeah,
It's just like it's gross. It's stuck
I
to me.
love it.
Yeah, it's one of
I
my
love
favorite things.
that.
I love it.
I would love to play with people. Like I love playing sports with my kids, but they're still young enough to where like I can still beat them in anything.
Sure.
So it's it. I mean, it's like
Yeah,
it. It's fun playing with people that where it's competitive and you know it's a more competitive environment, which would be more fun, I guess.
sure.
But I should get it. I need to.
Man, we should, I didn't, that's it's weird. It's unfortunate. I never even thought about that. We should have played when you were still living out here.
I know. Should have.
I wasn't thinking.
I'm gonna visit this summer. I'll have to play.
All right, maybe stop being so active
Where
before
do
you
you
come out
play in
here.
SAC?
Make it a little more competitive. I don't need you and your peak shave coming out and smoking me and spike ball, a sport that I love.
I that would not benefit me. Like being in good shape would not benefit me probably playing that. I mean, it would help me, but if I'm not good at it, you gotta be good at
I bet you're probably. I think you're sandbagging now. I won't call you a liar. I'm just saying. I think you're probably better
it.
than you think. Man, we went to a because they have like a tournament. Like they have tournaments around the U.S. for spike ball now. It's become a lot bigger
Yeah,
thing. It's on ESPN every once in a while. Um,
I've seen it.
man, we went to a tournament in San Francisco. It was like their regional West Coast tournament in San Francisco. Oh my gosh, these psychopaths.
Crazy.
Because at one point, me and my brothers were like, "Hey, maybe two of us could like do a tournament one time. We're okay." And then we see
Right.
these maniacs. I'm like, "Oh, I can't do that. I can't move that fast." It's on sand too. I mean, they're flying. It's wild.
I've seen it. I've seen it like on YouTube, and yeah, it's like a whole nother level where they're probably playing every day. They're just putting a lot of time into it, and perfecting that craft of theirs.
That's it. Well,
I know.
I'm not gonna do that either. So we'll play on the beach. I'm good.
I'll keep sucking and just beating Jordan.
Yeah, yeah. I'm cool with that. That's the problem though. My younger brothers are better than I am. So it's like,
Oh, okay,
yeah,
sorry.
especially my youngest brother. He's in much better shape than I am. I know that my brother is in better shape. He's just more explosive. He's taller, a little lengthier. So I have to work to get the ball past him. So it seems like every single year at some point he dives and like lands on his back weird, and then he's kind of struggling. Every year my initial goal is like I got to get him to dive and potentially hurt his back. Is it the best thing? Not really, but I also know that to give myself a better chance,
That's
I've got to
good.
hope for his injury. That's the point I'm at in my life. I mean, 35, hoping for a young guy's injury so I can still compete. It's a sad existence, but that's where I'm at.
I like it. Hey, you're competitive. You're doing what it takes to win, and it's
I'm
all fair.
competitive. Does it
It's
usually work
fair.
out? Not that often. Not that often. But we have fun doing it. It's still fun getting out there and playing. But tell you what, man, when you're on the sand, it's just a different animal. Trying to
Yeah,
run around on the sand is
it's
crazy.
brutal. So hard.
Yeah,
Yeah, it works like every
100%,
muscle.
man. So,
Yeah,
oh yeah, and we're always sore afterwards. I'm like, I'm not gonna do this,
yeah.
forever. But I gotta, like, again, right until the wheels come off, and we're probably not far from that. So,
That's awesome.
hey, man. So I think you and I were just talking. I think we have about, it's like a countdown, like a bomb countdown. Looks like we have like 10 minutes before this thing shuts off again.
Yeah.
Gotta figure some things out. I thought we were good, but apparently not. The
Uh,
computer has some different plans. So before we get out here, man, I want to try to wrap this up so we don't keep doing this song and dance all night.
mm,
Uh, the hardest mile. So it's basically the hardest mile, and I've seen it more. I've seen it pop up more since I posted about it for myself. But you're on a track. You don't have to be on a track, but it's easier. You do a track, and one lap is a broad jump with a burpee. Second lap is lunges. Third lap is bear crawls, and the fourth lap is a run or a very, very, very slow jog for
yeah.
myself.
Me too.
And it was brutal, man. I did it. I saw you did it, and can I tell you the one point where I'm like, I shouldn't do this, is when I saw your time. I saw your time, and like, oh, that's much longer than I was expecting for someone in his shape.
Yeah.
This is going to be brutal.
Yeah.
And then you posted the time of the guy who started this whole thing,
Insane.
and I'm like, that's an insane time.
Yep. I'm with you on that. I honestly thought I was gonna go faster than I did it. But man,
Yeah,
like there was just certain things like the lunges were manageable. The broad jump and burpee, I think took me like 25 minutes. Like it was miserable. Like that first lap was terrible.
yeah,
And then the lunges, I was like, this is kind of a break. I had to stop. Obviously, it stopped multiple times just to like give your quads a break. But then yeah, the bear crawl was killer too, man. That took so long. It didn't take as long, but it just was just kill killing my hands. That was like one thing that really hurt with my hands. Did that hurt your hands?
yeah. Did you do it barehanded?
I did. Yeah.
So you're a man. I put receiver gloves on, like cheap receiver
Smart.
gloves,
That's smart.
and
I
it
wish
still
I'd have
hurt.
done that.
It
Yeah.
still hurt.
Yeah.
I had blisters on my hands, and yeah, it wasn't great. Um, yeah, and like I think I joked with you. I texted you in the middle of it when I was doing the lunges. I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm still so far away, and I feel like yeah, when you get to the lunges and when you get to the run, it's like you're so happy to do those two things because
Yeah.
the other two suck so
Dude.
much. And I
Yeah.
was thinking about this. The guy who did this, when he recorded the time of whatever, like his total time was like what 30 something,
I think it was like
20 something.
26, 27 minutes.
Do you know what that would have looked like with the broad jumps? He's like it's like a frog on the track.
Dude. He just probably didn't stop and just did big old jumps. Like, just kept going. Like, he had to have done that in like 10 minutes. I don't know how fast
That's
you
what I'm
do that.
saying. Like there's
Yeah.
I that's
Yeah.
insane.
It's insane.
That's insane. And I don't know how you felt. Let me get your thoughts on this before we get out of here. So, because when I was talking to my wife about it, she's like, you're gonna be in so much pain." I said,
Yeah.
"You know what's crazy?" I said, "Yeah, I'm not feeling great right now. You are right, but I feel like during it, the worst part wasn't even the pain. It was the realization of like I'm not even close to finishing this thing.
Dude.
Right? Like I'm
Every
doing the broad jumps, like I'm making some good time, and I'm like I'm not even halfway through the first lap." And
exactly.
it was like that was the worst part. I don't know how you felt, but like the pain was what it is. You expect the pain, but like it's the mental part of it. I'm like, you're
Yeah.
looking back. I'm like, oh, I'm like, when I text you, I was like 45 minutes in. And like, I just got halfway with the lunges. I'm gonna be out here forever.
I know. I feel you on that. I remember going like I started in the middle of the track, like at the 50-yard line, and
I
then
did the same thing.
when I was doing the bear crawls, well, the burpee, uh, broad jump, same thing. But like I remember specifically being on the bear crawl, and I had done like the curve. Like I had just got done with the curve, looking up, thinking, "Oh dear God, I'm not even halfway." Like I feel like I've like made a good dent on the track, but then I'm like, I'm not even
Yeah,
to the 50-yard line, and I still have like 100 meters to get to the 50-yard line. Like it was just, yeah, it was a mental battle. You're right. It was brutal.
man. Yeah, I'm like that was yeah, it was insane. And then I actually drove to the track that day, and
Mhm.
the track that I went to, typically on a Sunday morning, late morning, it's usually pretty crowded. I'm like, if it's crowded, I'm not going to do it.
Yeah, I wouldn't want
It was
to
completely empty.
either.
There was no one there.
It's God
That was
telling
like my
you.
one last shot at an excuse not to do it. I'm like, well, there's no one here.
Yeah,
And it's open.
yeah,
Sometimes it's locked too. I'm like, maybe it's locked. No, it's completely open. I'm like, well, I guess I was meant to do this today.
yeah,
No more excuses. But
man.
yeah, man, I'm glad I did it. But again, see, like that again, to my point earlier about what you're doing, inspiring and challenging.
Mm.
And no joke, all jokes aside, I probably would have left it in my saved folder for
Yeah.
quite a while.
Oh, I do
But then
that
it's
too.
like, dang, I
Yeah,
saw someone that I actually know and respect do it.
right.
And now I'm like, well, I got to do it now. So there we go.
That's good. I think it would be a lot more fun and I don't want to say easier, but I think it would push us more to get better time if we were with a group of guys, or even if you're with one other guy. I think it would be a more fun
Yeah.
task, especially after doing it one time by myself. I would love to do it now
Yeah.
with other people. I think it would be
Oh,
more fun.
dude, that was one of the first things I said to Rachel when I got home.
Yeah,
I said, there's a reason why, because I'm sure you've seen a lot of the videos of
yeah,
people doing it. I said, there's a reason why so many of those videos are in groups.
yeah, for
I haven't
sure.
seen too many people do it by themselves. Like,
Yeah,
there's all these groups of people doing it. I'm like, there's a reason for that.
yeah,
Because by yourself sucks.
it sucks big time. You don't
I
get to
finished the whole
suffer.
podcast. It was like an hour plus podcast. I finished the whole thing. I had to start a new podcast before
That's
I finished the
awesome.
hardest mile.
That was a good use of your time, bud.
It was a comedy podcast. I don't know if it was a great use of my time. I did not make myself better from this podcast I was
Okay.
listening to. I'll tell you what though, wasn't laughing a whole lot during this
Yeah.
podcast. It's one of my favorite podcasts. It's very funny. Was not laughing during that hardest mile.
Who's your favorite comedian podcaster?
Right now, my favorite podcast, two comedians. It's called Are You Garbage, and
Okay.
it's a hilarious. My wife and I actually went to a show here in Sacramento when they came through.
Oh,
It's
nice.
one of the best live shows I've seen because
Sweet.
it's just so much fun. So that was actually what I was listening to. I've mentioned it on here
Nice.
before, but yeah, it's my favorite. Yeah,
Sweet.
just the questions they ask people and trying to determine whether or not someone's garbage or not is a lot of fun.
Very
Um,
cool.
so I felt like garbage when I was doing that run. I'll
I'm
tell you
sure you
that.
did.
Not even that run. I wish it was a run. It was just
The run is easy. The run at the end was like actually it was still kind of hard. Like your body felt like crap, so it was kind of like real sluggish.
oh,
But
my legs felt like jello.
yeah, I shouldn't say it was
Yeah,
easy,
I
but
knew I was in trouble.
yeah.
Oh, sorry. What'd you say?
Sorry, I was saying it wasn't easy. I knew like your body feels like crap when you get to that point, but yeah,
Yeah, no, I knew I was in trouble because I did once I did the full lap of the broad jumps and burpees. Um, I had my water at the 50-yard line, or
yeah,
at the 50 by the track,
yeah.
and I took one step to get my water. I'm like my legs like kind of gave. I'm like, oh no, it's like an old man. Like this is only the first lap.
Yeah,
Just like my legs felt like, yeah, it hit me like almost like the marathon. Like that first marathon I ever did.
yeah,
It's like everything kind of hurts and you just feel sore. My shins hurt, my ankles hurt the next
yeah,
day. I'm trying my best not to limp, around or like
totally.
act sore at work. And it's like, it's not working. Going up and down the stairs was brutal.
Yeah, yeah,
But anyways, I'm glad I did it though, man. I'm glad you posted it. I'm glad that you did that. And again, man, I know we're trying to wrap this thing up. I'm glad that you're doing everything that you're doing. One last question for you before we get out of here, because I am curious. When you do these videos,
mm.
has there ever been like a concern of yours that someone's gonna steal your phone?
No, I when I'm doing it, there's no one ever really around. Like, I run on a lot of roads here because there's not a lot of like good trails like I was used to in
Sure,
Sacramento. So I run on a lot of
sure.
like pretty chill roads where there's not a lot of activity. There's not people walking by. It's like 2 lane
There you go.
roads that I find some random spot to set the phone. Or it's pretty ghetto, but I need to get more
Hey, man, it
creative
works.
with my video.
Just keep doing your thing.
Yeah,
It's good stuff, man. Keep doing your thing.
yeah. Thanks, dude. No, I haven't gotten worried about that yet, though.
That's good. Have you seen any wildlife, any crazy wildlife in your new home?
Nothing too crazy.
Snakes?
I've seen a couple snakes, but nothing too big. I've seen a really big dead one, but yeah, some snakes. lot of turtles where we're at. Weird.
I'm okay with turtles.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're fine. Armadillos. Armadillos are a thing out here, which is really weird. I was never used to seeing those.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Yeah. But yeah, ton of deer. See deer all the time. But I saw deer in Sacramento too. So yeah.
Sure, that's not bad.
Yeah.
I guess my main question was, how many snakes have you seen?
Yeah.
That was my real question. I was not trying to sound, too much of a wimp here, but I hate snakes.
Bro.
I was just trying to hide that. But yeah, I'm asking about snakes. You've seen a few.
Yeah. If I saw a snake like on a trail, like a dirt trail, I probably wouldn't go back to that dirt trail because it would just like give me bad vibes.
Oh, I wouldn't at all. I haven't seen one yet, but as soon as I do, I'm done.
Bro, I hate snakes.
Retire from running.
Yeah. That's good.
Anyways, we don't need to talk about the snakes forever, man. This has been awesome. I'm sorry that the technology was fighting back a little bit tonight. But as always, man, it's been a fun conversation. I appreciate you jumping in and being a co-host. You've been elevated, man. Not just a guest anymore. Now you're a co-host.
I blabbered too much probably, but I appreciate it, Josh. Thank you, man.
Are you kidding me? You didn't talk enough. That's what everybody's thinking. They have to listen to me every week, so we're excited to see you on this podcast. But
thank you.
So before we get out of here, if people wanted to follow along with you, where can they follow you on social media?
Trav _Cole _ so TRAV _COLE_ on Instagram.
There you go. Give him a follow. And if you're lucky, he did this a couple weeks ago, but he was actually stripping on camera. And so if you're into that type of thing, you'll extra, and it's free. You can follow him for free on Instagram. You don't have to sign up for his OnlyFans account. You just go to his Instagram page and follow him.
That's next.
And you get a little show.
He
will not show you everything. He teased the people. I saw that video.
That's for my OnlyFans account, bro.
Yeah. Hey, but that could be a whole nother topic. You'd make some money. You would make some money, my friend. Hey, it doesn't matter how many wrinkles you have in your face. People won't care.
They're there, bro. We got tons.
Hey, on your OnlyFans, they're not even looking at the wrinkles. So, there you go.
I gotta get jacked first. I'm not there yet.
There you go. That's his goal. Once he gets jacked, be on the lookout. Get ready to subscribe.
Yeah.
All right, man. Hey, man, it's good. It's been good talking to you. And everybody, we will be back next week with a new episode. Will we have a guest? Don't know. You'll have to come back and find out.
Maybe I'll be back, bro.
Oh, don't say that. Don't say that. I'll give you the invite.
Yeah. All right.
All right, man.
All right,
we'll talk to you guys later.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for watching the show. If you enjoyed that episode, make sure you like it, share it, and hit the subscribe button to get a new episode every week. We'll see you next time on the Connectable podcast.